Good morning. Good morning. This is a vibrant and busy time at First UU Church of Austin, as honestly it really always is. So before we formally begin our worship service, we invite you to lend your attention to some announcements that will let you know some of the ways to get involved in the life of the church, but of course, as always, check out the newsletter and the email and all the other things too, the Facebook posts. Each Sunday, one of our caring companions is designated to be available at the front of the sanctuary after the service to listen to any immediate pastoral needs and assist you with connecting to additional pastoral support if you would like it. Today's caring companion is Ann Edwards. Anne, would you stand up and raise your hand? Thank you. Join us for senior lunch on May 14th as church member and speaker Jonathan Bryan talks about investing our money and also all the kinds of scams and kinds of fraud that we could be confronted with and how to avoid them. Soup and salad will be available for $5 from 12 to 1:30 in House and Hall. As always, it will be vegan and gluten-free friendly with various options. You do not have to be a senior to attend. All who are available in the middle of a day on Wednesday are welcome to attend. The Reproductive Justice Team invites you to the final film in their series on reproductive issues, Before a Breath, produced by ProPublica. Today's film will address stillbirth from a personal and legislative perspective. We are offering it on Mother's Day in honor of women who have not been able or choose not to become mothers. Our intention is to offer a safe space to bear witness to this tragic public health issue that has not received the attention it deserves. Final auction bids today by 5 p.m. If you haven't already, you could register online and bid for those silent auction items. Of course, all the live auction items went last night. We are trying to raise a minimum of $10,000, and we are almost there, but not quite. There is lots and lots of great stuff. There is stuff for kiddos. This is not one of those ritzy, fancy, schmancy kinds of auctions. You can buy things for $15, or you could pay $15,000 on something if you want to. All kinds of price ranges, all are welcome. On each Sunday, we light candles in the sanctuary and along the windows to mark sacred moments in our lives. Although we do have a time set aside for this ritual during worship, you are also invited to light candles at any time before or during the service when you feel moved to do so. Now, let all who have gathered in beloved community, whether in virtual space or here in person, join our spirits in worship together.
Timeamus et amemus Deum vivum, et ex corde diligamus nos in cielo.
Ubi caritas et amor Deus ibi est, which God is there. Love of each other has gathered us together. Let us rejoice and be glad. Let us share fear and hope and love. And from a sincere heart, let us love one another. Where charity and love abide, God is there.
Good morning. Whether you're joining us online or here at the church, welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin. We are a spiritual community dedicated to a free and responsible search for truth, meaning, and beauty. I'm Reverend Chris Jimmerson, co-lead minister at the church. I am a 6-foot white male wearing a stole with flowers and others of my nature photos on it that some church members here got made for me. My pronouns are he, him. It is a joy to be with you today. I especially want to welcome you if you're new to the congregation, if you're joining us remotely, and if you can, please say hello in the comments and let us know from where you're watching the service. If you're here in person, please join us for the social hour after the service. Either way, we invite you to go to austinuu.org, click on worship, and then scroll to the link to our visitor form. If you would fill that out, we would love to get to know more about you. Here we welcome everyone, every beginning and path, every beautiful expression of human flowering, all pronouns, all the ways and ones we love, all abilities or disabilities, each and every one of you. You are welcome here. You belong here. Today is our annual flower communion. Later in the service, if you brought flowers with you, we will invite you to bring them up front if you haven't already, and then to take a different flower with you. If you didn't bring a flower, no worries. As you can see, we have plenty of extra. We come from a long tradition of sensing that an ocean of divine love flows through each of us. And it's in this tradition, our living tradition, that I invite you to greet the holy among us, either in the comments online or by turning to those around you here in the sanctuary.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the Reverend Michelle LaGrave, your co-lead interim minister. I'm a white, middle-aged woman with short, spiky-ish hair, wearing a pink blouse and a bright blue rising sun stole. My pronouns are she and her. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words. This is the flame we hold in our hearts as we strive for justice for everyone. This is the light we shine upon systems of oppression until they are no more. This is the warmth we share with one another as our struggle becomes our salvation.
Our call to worship this morning is titled For All Mothers. It's by the Reverend Linda Susan Ulrich. For all the mothers and mother figures, the grandmothers, aunts, and extended family members who mother, the soon-to-be mothers, the wish they were mothers, the never wanted to be mothers, the it's complicated mothers. The birth mothers, foster mothers, adoptive mothers, stepmothers, the used-to-be dad mothers, the more than one mom mothers, the single mothers, separated mothers, stay-at-home mothers, unhoused mothers, the grieving mothers, those who grieve their mothers, and those whose grief is complex. For all the communities that mother, for all who depend upon the great mother, you are held, you are beloved. Now, please rise and body your spirit as we sing together hymn number 63 from the Gray Hymnal, Spring Has Now Unwrapped the Flowers.
One of the things that binds First UU together as a religious community is that the congregation has a common purpose. For First UU Church of Austin, that common purpose is the mission. The congregation wrote it together and put it up on the wall in the sanctuary in big, bold, beautiful letters. And every Sunday we say it together so that we may more readily carry it with us in our hearts throughout the week. Let us say it together now. Together we nourish souls, transform lives, and do justice to build the beloved community.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sol. It is now time for the Story for All Ages. Anyone who would like to join me on stage, come on up. Hello. Howdy, y'all. We're going to talk about flower communion today. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Welcome, welcome. All of the people, all of the friends. Hello. Okay. This is called how the flower ceremony came to be. All right. Hello, everyone. I see so many flowers. Okay. So, our story begins 150 years ago in 1870. Can you imagine 150 years ago? It's like a really big number. In 1870, a boy named Norbert Chapek was born. Norbert was born in scary times. World War I was happening, and his country was right in the middle of it. As time went on, the war got more frightening and more dangerous. So when Norbert grew up, he and his wife, Maya, moved to the United States to be safer. Norbert's mom had raised him to be Catholic, but as he grew up, he realized he didn't believe in the same things she did. He tried being a Baptist instead, and even became a minister and started lots of different Baptist churches. But eventually, he realized that didn't quite fit either. One day, he wrote in his diary, "I cannot be a Baptist anymore, even in compromise. The fire of new desires, new worlds is burning inside me." He realized he needed to try something new. So, Norbert and his wife tried going to a Unitarian church. Do you want to know why they stayed? Because their kids liked the RE classes. It's the kind of power y'all have. Norbert ended up liking Unitarianism so much that he switched from baptism and became a Unitarian minister instead. When the war ended, he and Maya moved back to their home country, which was now called Czechoslovakia. Norbert wanted to share his love of Unitarianism with all the people back home, so he started his own Unitarian church. Even though the war was over, times were still tough. Everyone was sad and scared, and a lot of people didn't trust each other. Reverend Norbert wanted to lift the spirits of his congregation, bring them together, but he wasn't quite sure how. One day, Reverend Norbert took a walk, and on his walk, he saw a little flower growing in between two pavement stones. The beauty and the bravery of that little flower made Reverend Norbert so happy, and he wanted to share that happiness with his congregation. But how? There were no flowers around the church building and no beds to plant any in. As he was thinking, a young child ran up to him, smiled, and handed him a different flower, maybe from their own garden. That child might not have known it, but they were the inspiration that Reverend Norbert was looking for. Kids have a real talent for saving the day, huh? Yeah, they do. Reverend Norbert told his congregation to all bring a flower to the next Sunday service. And they did. They brought daisies and chamomile flowers, sweet cherry blossoms, and roses. Reverend Norbert gathered up all the different flowers and put them in a big vase together, like these ones. It represented the community, all different but all together, and absolutely beautiful. At the end of service, each person got to take a flower home, different from the one that they brought. Everyone got a little piece of beauty and joy, and everyone felt just a little bit better. Now, 150 years later, we continue that ceremony that Reverend Norbert started. It reminds us that even though we're all different, we're all part of the same community. That everyone has different strengths, and that they work best when we share them with one another. So, when it's time, I want each of you to come up and pick a flower. When it's time. And I want you to think about how, just like the flower you choose, you are unique and beautiful and part of a big bouquet of other unique and beautiful people. We are all different, we are all important, and we are all loved. Right. Thank you guys for enjoying that story with me. This is an all-ages service. We are going to head back to our seats, head back to your grown-ups, and we're going to stay in the sanctuary for flower ceremony, okay? All right, let's do it.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe
Every year, the members of First Unitarian Universalist Church of Austin select a group of nonprofits that are building the beloved community in our area. On the second Sunday of each month, we take up an offering that we give away to support these organizations, and we feature a representative who highlights the great work of one of them. If you've joined us online, you can go to austinuu.org, click on Give to First UU Austin, and then select the drop-down box called Second Sunday Special Offering. Here in the sanctuary, the ushers will gratefully accept the monthly special offering after a few words from Elizabeth Gray, whom we're thrilled to invite to let us know a little more about Online Abortion Resource Squad.
Good morning. I'm Elizabeth Gray, co-lead of the Reproductive Justice Team. I'm a middle-aged, short, gray-haired white woman wearing a sleeveless black top and a sparkly necklace. And I'm here to talk about our monthly service offering. Many of us recently have had our focus on big picture, state and national issues. And as we struggle with the big stuff, it's easy to overlook the personal, daily challenges that people face just to keep going. One of those challenges is the reality of unintended pregnancy, with many desperately seeking solutions every day. Let us not normalize the heartbreaking truth that women and girls are being forced to carry and bear children they do not want, with little or no access to accurate, compassionate, and timely information to guide them. Can we have the slides, please? There we go. But there is hope. There is trustworthy, non-stigmatized, peer-based information available for people seeking information and guidance on abortion. It's found on the internet. There's a social media site called Reddit with a collection of communities or online forums called subreddits. And one of those subreddits is r abortion. People gather here by the millions, I kid you not, and from across the entire globe to ask questions, share their experiences, and support one another as they navigate abortion. Here are some conversations at the top of the list from a few days ago. This is not highly curated. Each of these subject lines is followed by a personal, passionate, compelling stories with pleas for help or information. Pregnant and not sure if I want to keep it. Pregnant at 15, can't pay for the pills in Texas. My experience using the pill. How long does bleeding last after a medical abortion? And on and on. My current experience, 5 weeks. Abortion tomorrow, and I'm scared. He left me after I decided to abort. Please help. How to have an abortion. And this random sample that I grabbed are posts from Asia, Africa, Canada, Europe, and the Middle East, as well as the United States. But what ensures that this space remains safe and supportive, especially when so much online content about abortion is steeped in shame, stigma, or intentionally misleading information? The Online Abortion Resource Squad is what keeps the space safe and supportive for the people who need and share their information. The OARS moderators manage the site. They maintain the order and the quality of the content. This is a huge task given the extremely high volume of posts and comments, and they are volunteers. So they need our help to keep doing what they do. Imagine you need a medical procedure, but you don't have any access to information, support, or guidance. Imagine you've heard a lot of things about the procedure that are wrong or inaccurate or intentionally misleading. Imagine that without that procedure, your whole life will be turned upside down. Your future will not be the one you planned and hoped for. And add to that a procedure that has been stigmatized, even made illegal in many parts of the country. What an incredibly stressful, sad situation. But OARS has your back. No matter who you are, where you live, or what you need regarding your abortion, you can write a post on the Our Abortion subreddit any day, at any time, and you'll receive a quick, thorough, accurate, and compassionate personal response. When people have trouble getting the abortion information and support they need, they head to the internet. OARS meets them there. We have agency here in this church or online, and we can help support OARS to ensure that the Our Abortion subreddit is there for the women, girls, and pregnant people when there literally is nowhere else for them to go. Thank you very much for your support.
All blessings on your gifts and all blessings on you as givers. Our reading this morning is from Welcoming Spirit Home by Sobonfu Somé. Sobonfu Somé was one of the foremost voices in African spirituality to come to the West. Destined from birth to teach the ancient wisdom, ritual, and practices of her ancestors to those in the West, Sobonfu, whose name means keeper of the rituals, traveled the world on a healing mission, sharing the rich spiritual life and culture of her people, the Dagara tribe of Burkina Faso, which ranks as one of the world's richest countries in spiritual life and custom. A ritual is a ceremony in which we call in spirit to be the driving force, the overseer of our activities. It is a way for us to find our way to wholeness, peace, self-acceptance, and acceptance of others. Ritual allows us to connect with the self, the community, and the natural forces around us. Ritual helps us remove blocks between us and our true spirit. The purpose of rituals is to take us to a place of self-discovery and mastery. In this sense, ritual is to the soul what food is to the physical body. Rituals are participatory activities that involve the whole being, body, spirit, mind, and soul. In our rituals, we call in spirits, ancestors, to guide us each step of the way. Rituals are a form of continuous prayer. They help us to consciously incorporate healthy, genuine, special spiritual evolution and to dwell in the sacred in a way that truly heals us. Usually, here at First UU, we pray or meditate together using words or using silence. On occasion, we've done musical meditations where we've sung or listened to music and meditated in that way. Today, I'm going to invite you into a more corporeal practice called a body prayer. And so I am going to invite those of you who are young or young at heart or just feeling brave today to come on up with me and help lead the congregation in this body prayer. I'm asking for your help because I know that when we do new things in worship, sometimes the adults get really shy. So those of you who are young at heart, brave, come on up. Join me right all around the pulpit here. I'm going to stay close to the microphone. So for this body prayer, if you want to or need to, you can stay in your seat, or you can stand up. It might be a little bit easier if you stand up. And what we're going to do is imagine ourselves as seeds growing into flowers. I'll say some words because body prayer is new to us, but often body prayer is done without any words at all. So I'm going to invite you to begin by scrunching down either in your seats or on your feet, really, really, really far down, deep into the earth. You are a seed. You are soaking in the water and the nutrients and everything that it is that you need to grow from the earth, from the moist soil that surrounds you. And as time passes, you begin to break out of your seed shell just a little bit. You begin to sprout, still deep in that earth, but you begin to expand. And you expand more and more and more until eventually your tiniest little green shoots come up from out of the dirt, out of the earth, and you begin to feel the bright sunshine, the sun rays on your leaves, which are beginning to grow and unfurl on your stems. And then you begin to grow a bud, the beginning of a flower. Nice and close, tight in, beginning of a flower. And that water and those nutrients continue to come up through the earth, up through your stem, up through your leaves, into the bud of your flower. The sun continues to beat down on you. The rain waters the earth. The sun's rays turn into energy within your body, within your plant body, and your flower opens up. You open up wider and wider and wider to the universe, to all that life and earth has to offer to you, and in return, you share your very own beauty. Amen. Not quite yet. We're getting to the flower part. Right now, what we're going to do, you can stay up here if you want to, or you could go back to your seats, whichever way. We're going to breathe together, in and out. And we're going to enter into a time of sacred quiet, a time of sacred silence, about half a minute, remembering that nowhere in the world is it fully silent. We remain quiet in our very beings. Amen, and blessed be. With gratitude for the laughter and delight of this morning, we prepare to join it together in our ritual, our silent ritual of candlelighting. So I invite you to bring now to mind whatever it is that you need to honor during this time. Any remembrance, any joy, sorrow, hope, celebration that is at the forefront of your life, your family's life, or your community's life. So join with your adults, and we can move into our time of candlelighting as we listen to the music.
As
And now we light one last candle for all those for whom there is no one to light a candle. Flower communion is one of the many shared rituals that we live out together each year.
Other examples include water communion, the Christmas pageant, and our Christmas Eve service, burning bowl, the pet blessing, the baby parade, and several others.
We also have weekly rituals such as lighting our chalice together, praying or meditating together, lighting candles together, and singing hymns together. Notice there's a lot of togethers there. As well as periodic rituals such as signing the membership book and our new member welcoming ceremonies and child dedications, as well as one-time rituals that we create specific to a spiritual topic that has risen in importance at that time.
So today, Reverend Michelle and I thought it might be good to pause and remind ourselves why we do these rituals, to discuss the role they play in our lives.
So, Chris, what role do you think rituals play in our religious community, as well as more broadly?
Well, Michelle, I never expected that question, so I'll have to think for a minute. I think rituals, as your reading earlier pointed out, are a way to involve our bodies, our senses, our emotions, all of ourselves, so that we can form a deeper understanding of life's mysteries. They are a way to mark the passing of time and ground ourselves in history, like Sol did for us with the flower communion story earlier. Rituals as a community help bind us together. They promote emotional bonding, that together word again. They transmit culture and values. And they provide ways to express the sacred, the spiritual, higher metaphorical understandings. And sometimes those understandings are beyond our ability to express them in regular words, and so we need the rituals as a way to understand those things. Also, though we repeat these rituals like the flower communion every year, I'm wondering, Michelle, if you think their meaning changes over time, and if so, how they might affect us given the context in which we find ourselves in any given year.
Yeah. All of that is true. And I think that over time, as we repeat our rituals, whether the rituals are rituals of words or actions, the meaning of the ritual deepens. For me, one repetitious phrase that we do hear frequently that has deep meaning for me, it comes with the chalice lighting, with our struggle becomes our salvation. Salvation is not easy. We do struggle on our way to it, on our path to it. I think those are words that you actually wrote, and I asked Chris if I could bring them with me when I leave because I love them so much.
I told her no. I'm kidding.
But also, I think that as times change and different things happen in our larger community life, in the nation, in the world, then that can impact how we experience our rituals as well. So, for example, right now we're living in a time of rising fascism. Things can be pretty scary out there. And it makes me think so much of Norbert Čapek's story. In addition to creating and sharing the flower celebration, flower communion ritual with us, Reverend Norbert also sheltered people who were Jewish within his congregation. It was a good fit because they were Unitarian and believed in only one God. and in that way was able to help people hide from the Nazis. But Čapek himself was actually arrested and taken to a concentration camp in Dachau, actually. And he brought that ritual with him. So not only are we recreating all these many, almost 80 years later, ritual of flower communion in this really scary time, we're remembering someone who lived in a similarly scary time. And to me, that just feels so much more powerful and more beautiful, and the meaning is so much deeper this year than it has been in previous years. So I think we've pretty well covered a lot of the general ways in which our rituals might be of benefit to us in our spiritual lives. But do you think of any specific ways? Can you think of any specific ways that the rituals can benefit us as individuals?
Sure. Again, that sense of bonding that I talked about as a community, I think benefits us as individuals. When we participate in a ritual like this with our religious community, it gives us a sense of belonging, to be a part of that. Studies have also shown that participating in rituals can help us reduce anxiety. Rituals are one of the ways that help us process loss and grief, and they help us make meaning and find purpose. And finally, rituals also, according to the research, can bring on other psychological benefits. They give us a sense of calmness. Sometimes rituals can even bring us a sense of euphoria, bliss, and joy. They give us a sense of personal empowerment by participating, that we have our own agency. And studies have even shown that participating in a ritual can boost our confidence afterwards and just in general improve our mood. So Michelle, we've been talking a lot about how rituals function here at First UU. What are your thoughts about how they might connect us to other Unitarian Universalists?
Well, I think they do connect us on a very deep level. We tend to be very siloed in our experience of individual UU congregations, but then we do sometimes have opportunities to come together. One of them is General Assembly, which happens every year. We send delegates to go and vote and do the business of the association, but we also have worship services and workshops, and we conduct rituals, including a bridging ceremony for our youth who are moving into young adulthood. And when we arrive as strangers, and yet not really strangers, not completely strangers. We arrive with this shared common understanding of the role of ritual in our lives. And that means that we begin our relationships with each other in a different place. We already have something deep and important in common that we already know about each other. And we start in a place of shared values and greater trust and a better ability to relate with each other. I don't know how many of you have ever been to General Assembly. I highly recommend it if you either have the chance to go in person when it's in Texas or the ability to travel. Walking into a place, any place, even something that seems as unsacred as a convention center, with thousands of other UUs is absolutely a spiritual experience, to just simply be in that space with each other before we even start doing anything. So if you have the chance, please do so. With that, we're going to begin our own annual ritual of flower communion this year. For those of you who have not already brought a flower forward, you can do that when you come up. And the only hard and fast rule here is you take a different flower from the one that you brought. Don't bring your own flower home, even if you really, really like it. So once you come up and exchange your flower for a new flower, I invite you to take some time to quietly reflect and meditate on the meaning of that flower, on its beauty, on the life of the person who brought it and shared it with you today. Let us begin.
For those of you joining us online, we hope that you will go outdoors on this beautiful day and find some flowers to enjoy also. May not only these flowers, but also the spirit of communion and the love of this religious community go with you. Now please rise in body or spirit and let us sing together hymn number 38 from the gray hymnal, Morning Has Broken.
Please join me in saying the words by which we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we hold in our hearts until we are together again.
As we go out into our world today,
just as we carry with us our flowers we have shared,
may we also carry with us the shared meanings of this, our shared ritual.
the spiritual nourishment found only in communion.
Holding our history in our hearts,
We embody a new and ever more just and loving future together.
so may it be.
Go in peace.
Awake, O north wind, and come the south. Blow upon my garden, that the spices may flow out. Let the spices flow out. Let my beloved come into his garden and eat his blessed fruits. Awake, O north wind, and come the south.